Hi, Democrats. Today is Thursday, February 1st, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Thursday. So today is February 1st. Lots of stuff to talk about, but today is my birthday. I mention that because, well, I like birthday greetings, but also because tonight is trivia night. It is trivia night tonight. It's not too late to sign up. We're starting at 6:30 tonight. If you're in the Oklahoma City area and you feel like driving over, we're going to be at Elmer's on Lincoln. It's at 39th and Lincoln. It'll be fun. Stop by. But if you're not in the Oklahoma City area or you don't feel like driving, even though the weather is great, you can log on. You can join us via Zoom. Go out to okdemocrats.org/trivia night to sign up. If you'd already signed up earlier today, you should have gotten a link of how to join. And we'll just keep sending out those links as more people sign up. I hope you sign up. I'd love for this to be a statewide event and have folks from all over the state joining us. So that is tonight. And just think about this. After tonight, you'll stop hearing about trivia night. But I think it'll be really fun. So that's what we got going on. Yesterday, I ran down a whole list of other things that we have going on, and I'm going to repeat that list. We have a recruitment event coming up in early March. We have our PPP convention on April 6th and Campaign Academy on April 13th. So mark your calendar. There's going to be a lot of things. And from this point forward, there's just going to keep being things month after month, because it is a presidential election year. And we've got to keep people engaged. And what I found in presidential election years is that people's attention spans are really short about everything other than president. And we have House races on the ballot, and we have state Senate races on the ballot, and all 5 of our congressional seats are on the ballot, and many city council and school board races. There's even a consequential mayor's race that are on the ballot in this calendar year. And so we're going to be doing a lot of events, trying everything we can to make sure that folks stay engaged and that Democrats show up and show out. So it's Thursday, and beyond being my birthday, it's also Legislative Update Day. And so join me in welcoming Representative Mickey Dollens.
Hey, Alicia, and happy birthday. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm so glad you could join us. So this week was special session week in Oklahoma.
That's right. And before I jump into this too much, I just want to say my battery is a little low. So if I get cut off, I apologize. But this week we got a preview of what session will look like, and it's very busy. We actually came in on Monday, and the House Democratic Caucus met, and we kind of went over our talking points for debates. And we just really wanted to make an effective case for why the 0.25% income tax cut doesn't help everyone. In fact, it disproportionately benefits rich Oklahomans. So we came in on Monday, they filed the bill, and then it had to sit for another day for second reading. So the earliest in which we could hear the bill was on Wednesday. That's why we were in there until Wednesday. But as you know, the Senate decided under Senate President Pro Tem Treat, he said, this means nothing. We don't have relevant data. Why are we even wasting money? Just by showing up in the amount of per diem and having all the staff there, it equated to over $35,000 a day, or over $100,000 for 3 days. And we made the point that it was nothing but politics and political theater and a waste of taxpayer dollars. But it was a vote along party lines. It did pass, but that effectively means nothing. I'm sure they'll pick up that same bill going forward in the next week or two. Who knows? Preferably, probably after we had the latest data from the Board of Equalization. But there's just so much more we could be doing to help low and middle income Oklahomans than just a 0.25% of an income tax cut, which equates to about, as Representative Fugate put it, about a 10-cent raise per day. In my debate, I made the point that, yeah, Oklahomans need a raise, and there are ways in which we can do that to help those middle class and low income earners, and that's expand the earned income tax credit, raise the minimum wage from $7.25. It hasn't been raised in over 15 years. And of course, eliminate the state's portion of the grocery sales tax. Those are just three bills that House Democrats have filed that could be heard, it could be considered, that would actually give real relief to working Oklahomans.
So you guys did you get to see a summary of the bills that are coming up in this legislative session? And follow up, because I know we're short on juice. The bills that the Republican side of the Democrat side of the House, did it address those issues that will help working class families?
I'm sorry, you said, did we get a chance to read all of the bills we're going to be
Did
hearing?
you get a chance to kind of preview the things of the bills that are coming up?
Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. And this part of the process depends on the committee chairs on whether or not they want to hear a particular bill. So we've heard of a lot of these bills that have been filed, but until they actually get a committee hearing and then they pass is when we start to really focus in on those, because there's a whole handful of bills that aren't ever going to come up for a vote in committee or on the floor. And so we each have about 5 to 6 committee assignments. And what I'll do is I'm going through those and I'm reading the different bills that are going to be coming up in our committees. And then once those advance, I'll go into a master document and I'll put in the description and some notes about the particular bill and whether or not it passed or by how much. And then that can give my colleagues an opportunity to go in and review my notes while they're also reading the bill, to assist them with forming questions and coming up with a debate if they choose to do that. But I'm glad we brought this up, because it's kind of something that no one really talks about behind the scenes, but it really just goes to show the teamwork and the cohesiveness behind the House Democratic Caucus under Leader Munson's leadership, of how we're all pitching in, we're all working together to help each other be prepared and ready as bills continue to come up for votes.
So we've talked in the last couple of weeks about how the Democrats in the House and Democrats in the Senate get their bill ideas from their constituents. And those bills are bills that, unlike what I call the joke bills, right? Unlike the joke bills, those bills actually are meant to help. Unlike this political stunt of it works, right? We've talked about it a couple of times. He's been on TV and it's been on national news that the governor of Oklahoma wants to give the citizens back a tax cut. It sounds great.
Yeah, and if people will remember, just 2 years ago, the legislature did do a quarter of an income tax cut, and it was so minimal that it's hardly even noticeable. But the governor has said that his overall goal is to get the income tax rate down to 0%. That would be a $3.85 billion revenue loss to that we use to fund core services. And I made a point to say that, yes, if we lose $3.5 billion, $3.85 billion, you can rest assured that the Republican majority is going to recoup those taxes, but in the form of regressive taxes, which disproportionately burden low-income Oklahomans. And so they know that they have to pay for things, but in the manner in which they do it is really hurts low-income Oklahomans and middle class as well.
In the discussion of the tax cuts and the surplus funds that we have, has there been any discussion at the Capitol about how much of those funds were a result of Joe Biden's ARPA plan and Inflation Reduction Act? Were there any conversations about that? And are we putting money aside for the misuse of funds from the superintendent of public instruction or the governor?
Representative, you gave a great point that to your point, that a lot of reasons why the state has a lot of money right now is due to the fact that the government have given relief dollars. And I was just saying that relief dollar will be eventually, and they are money in the college, and that's why it's going to be taxes doing now.
Okay, it looks like we lost Representative Dollens. He told us he didn't have enough juice. Maybe he can plug in and we can hear about it. But it sounds like what he said was that Representative Andy Fugate from Dell City made a point on the floor that a lot of the surplus funds are a result of the money that came from from Biden's plans, the American Rescue Plan funds, the Inflation Reduction Act, the infrastructure bill. These bills that are bringing jobs, that are focused on bringing money, helping states get through, bounce back from COVID. And so a lot of funds came from the Biden administration into our state, which helps to boost us, help get us to this level of surplus. Let's see if we have him back. He's getting there. So, and I think it's important that we talk about that, because that money isn't coming back. There's not going to be more America Rescue Plan dollars because it was directly related to the pandemic. And knock on wood, a pandemic is a once in a lifetime thing. And so there won't be more of those funds coming to Oklahoma. There won't be more, Inflation Reduction Act funds coming from the Biden administration, because that too was directly related to the pandemic. And so just like your home budget, you dispense the money, right? Give people back the money, dispense the money, knowing that you're going to get money back, knowing that there is going to be a constant stream of revenue. And because that a lot of those funds were one-time influx of cash, there's nothing to say that that money is going to stay there. So we give this money back. How do we replace our coffers? And I think it's important that we think about that. And frankly, I think it's important that we give the Biden administration credit for helping us get to that point where we were. I am so sorry that we lost Representative Dollens, because I so enjoy his update of the legislature. Next week is the first week of the official legislative session, and so I look forward to what he has to add on Thursday. Give us an update of what it looks like for the first week of the 2024 legislative session, the 59th legislative session of the Oklahoma legislature. And again, before I go, I have to do a shameless plug. I want you to join me tonight at trivia night as a way, to raise some money for the party while making me not feel so bad about getting old. All righty. Thank you so very much for joining me. I will be back here tonight tomorrow morning at 4:15. Hope to see you tonight. You guys have a great evening.